Hi, I'm Laura Mihalick, and this is my Life Reinvented. I've had regular mammograms for the last 15 years and have had a couple of them come back with suspicious spots, and they ended up being cysts. And because I have dense breasts, that was one of the reasons that they gave me. So when I saw in the paper that Trinity was going to be offering 3D mammography, I contacted Gail Merck and said, would this be something that I should look into? It. So on August 25th of 2015, I had my 3D mammogram and didn't hear anything for a couple of weeks. And I thought, oh, well, no news is good news. And then on, must have been like the 10th of September, they called and said that there was something that they'd like to look at, an ultrasound on September 11th. And before I left the hospital that day, they had made an appointment for me to have a biopsy that following Tuesday on the 15th. And so I thought, well, they'll go in and it'll just be another cyst. But the doctor told me that no, he didn't think it was just a cyst. And he showed me the picture and said that I needed a biopsy. So I went in on the 15th and I had my biopsy, and they told me that I would get my results probably by Thursday or Friday. And lo and behold, Wednesday the 16th, they called. Dr. Tornell was the doctor that did my biopsy, and he said that I was very lucky because had it not been for 3D mammography, they would never have found the tumor, and because it was so deep and it had already left the duct. So had I had a 2D mammogram, it wouldn't have been located, and he didn't even know if the next year it would have been able to be detected on a 2D mammogram. So I went to see my physician, Lori Doctor, that same afternoon as the diagnosis, and we visited, and she asked what I wanted to do. Did I want to go somewhere and get a second opinion, or did I want to stay here at Trinity? And my husband Tim and I had talked after we got the call and said, Trinity has made such strides in their cancer research and cancer care that had it been 5 years ago, we maybe would have thought about leaving and going elsewhere. But we thought, no, I wanted to be as close, be close and be at home and near my family for support. And so when we visited with Lori, she asked about physicians, and after I had had my biopsy, I visited with a couple of people, and they had given me names of physicians, and I just, for some reason, felt that Dr. Jun would be the doctor I would want to put my case in his hands. And so Lori called, and this was on Wednesday, the 16th of September, and I saw him on that Friday, the 18th of September, and he too told me that I was very lucky with the 3D mammography because he couldn't locate the lump in my right breast. And so we visited, and we were able to schedule surgery for Tuesday, September 22nd. So things just clicked right along, and I didn't have time to think much about anything. And it was one of those things I told my husband and kids that if it was cancer, we were going to do what we had to do and, kick it in the ass is what I said. And Dr. Jun performed the surgery on that Tuesday and talked to Tim and the kids afterwards and said that he had taken out more tissue than what he had anticipated because there was a suspicious looking tissue, and that I would find out my results the following week. And so I went to my appointment to see him the following Tuesday, and then that's when I got the news that it was stage 1C invasive breast cancer, which meant it was past the level of diagnosing it as 1, but it wasn't enough to diagnose as level 2. And he also had done a sentinel node, took my sentinel node and sent that in, and then that's how they found out that it was not in any of my lymph nodes, which was a blessing, again, because of 3D mammography. And after meeting with Dr. Pat and Dr. Grant, they determined that I would have 35 rounds of radiation, and then that I would not need to go through chemotherapy, and then I was put on tamoxifen for the first 6 months, and now I am on another pill, an inhibitor they call it. But the Cancer Center I cannot say enough about. I used to pray every time I drove by Town and Country Shopping Center and would see the Cancer Center that nobody in my family would ever have to use the Cancer Center. And then when I was diagnosed and visited the Cancer Center and they gave me my treatment plan and went for my first visits with the radiation team and Dr. Grant, I thought how lucky we are to have a facility like this in our hometown. I was able to sleep in my own bed at night. I didn't have to drive 2 hours to get to treatment. It was just so nice to have my family here as support. And you realize when you go to the Cancer Center how many people are using that facility, and there are always people worse off than you are. I was very, very fortunate, and so then I thought I have to find a way to give back to the Cancer Center. And so now I am part of the Look Good, Feel Better program. And as a licensed cosmetologist, that's one of the requirements to be a part of the Look Good, Feel Better program. So I am able to help women feel better about themselves, and they come in looking pretty good anyway. But it just helps them to feel better about themselves, learning about makeup tips and maybe wraps, head wraps, and wigs and stuff. And it's just been a good fit for me to still be able to help at the Cancer Center and then help women who have been in the situation that I. And for a year, I have been cancer-free because of Trinity Health.